Hello, welcome to PKR TV. We've got the Aussie Open $8 rebuy tournament for you now. For $8, if you don't even rebuy and you get a top prize of $1,300, that is like a percentage increase of like, is it quite a lot, isn't it? It's good value, whatever you think. Anyway, in the commentary booth, PKR's very own Dansky and World Series of Poker Europe bracelet winner, Scott Shelley.
Fold.
I fold.
We love our firsts, and this is one, the Aussie Open Rebuy. Never before seen in 50 million homes with TV sets turned off around the world. And here it is.
Thanks for sharing that with us.
$8 rebuy, so we can't expect there to have been a lot of play by this stage, right?
Fold.
Well,
It's usually a bit carnage.
it's definitely carnage in the first hour or so once the rebuy period's going on, but usually stacks are quite deep after the add-on period.
Okay. Well, we shall find out. And how many Australians would you imagine are at the final table of the Australian Open?
I'm gonna guess with two.
Well, more. More than what we have, but two are flying the flag. There they are, Coldfish and Potluck. This, as we said, an $8 rebuy, 253 runners. Four figures for first, that is $1,322. Almac Pool,
All in.
he's got 5 bigs and he gets it in, rightly so, but he's unlucky, as is often the case with poor old Almac. And he runs into our Maita's Kings. He's got some hope, but now no hope.
The term was the Grim Reaper there.
Yeah, there we are. Almac Pool leaves. We've actually missed out on the elimination of RU Elvis in 10th for $79. Almac gets 3 figures, $106, but I'm guessing he's not going to be too happy about that. Onwards.
Fold.
I fold.
And seems to be fairly tight. Stormen's got 7s.
I fold.
And he limps.
Would like to see an open jam there.
Yeah. Oh, open jam, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he had like less than 10 bigs.
All right, so having made the mistake
Yeah.
or certainly unorthodox manoeuvre of limping with the 7s, he passes the best hand. Ace-Queen gets basically dead money. I think that is what it's called, right?
Yeah, the ace-queen played it fine, but really the chip should have gone in, and they didn't.
Okay, so he had what? How many bigs?
He started the hand with like,
10?
no less, like
New hand.
8.
8 big blinds. And a recent article from you says, or a tip of the week.
Tip of the week.
Says, get it here, it's free.
Yeah, I mean...
says anything under 20 bigs and you really got to be looking to get the chips in rather than waste them. And that was a horrible wastage right there.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a great shot there to get his chips in. He's folded to him in late position and he's found a pair.
Yeah.
So anything other than a shove is wrong.
Okay, well, G Dunnett gets his ridiculously short stack in the middle with the king-queen. He's not in the worst shape in the world against the 3-bet of Lindemar.
Fold. Read 'em and weep.
Big blind folds with like 2 bigs behind.
Here we go, and he gets there with the king.
A few cards to fade, and he does it.
Yeah, that's a little race that he's won, but still under 10 bigs. And here we go. We can actually see Armaita 507k, so he's pretty comfy.
Yeah.
Almost twice second place, so he's going to be a huge favourite right now. Everyone else, though, under 20 big blinds.
Yeah.
So really, by your estimation,
Well-
everyone should be shoving. Everyone's shoving at once. Really?
Yeah, well, I mean,
This is going to be a completely bananas final table in that case.
it should be.
Well, but it's not going to be, is it? We suspect there's going to be a few kind of misunderstandings, perhaps, with regards to stack size and blinds and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, people might be trying to ladder up, make a few more bucks.
Okay. Well, we have a shorty in the middle, Dutchman Coldfish. Are they going to be checking it down?
See ya.
Tav was in the big blind with like 2 bigs, so they've got it in with a 2
Interesting. Coldfish
Check.
bets, trying to get his opponent out, figures that he can take down the all-in.
Good
And
game.
they've got no chips left, so they've moved in now.
And
Oh wow, and a deuce. That's pretty sick.
yeah, well, there are many pretty sick things in that
I
hand.
think the Dutcham is Dutcham out now, or is no? They were the covering stack. Yeah, they were the covering stack.
However, to get yourself in that situation where you're calling it pre-flop, calling the flop, check calling the flop, check calling the turn, when there are by that stage 3 overcards and you're facing a second barrel, seems to be a little curious, really.
Yeah, I mean, once there's a player all in, you've got to expect that the player betting out's got to have something at least to go up against the all-in player.
Okay, well, lots of strange lines happening.
Find the shove.
Right, okay. you, that's it. You can let it all out. Let the angst out. There we go. This has got to be a shove. This is 100% shove,
Yeah,
right?
100%
You've got
shove.
king high.
I mean,
You've got only a few big blinds left.
the big blind's got an effective stack of less than 10 bigs as well.
Right, okay.
So it's although they've got the suited ace here, the king 7 should have easily been a shove.
Right. And it should have been a shove, and you're just really unlucky to run into ace 9.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, not a lot of, kind of courage. Might be being a bit harsh, but, you've a lot of these guys are going to be getting pretty short pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, some guys...
And then they're going to get called.
I mean, there might be a few people here that are in for $8 and they're just trying to get as much value as they can.
Maybe.
But
I don't know. But, let me have a look here. What we haven't commented on is form in the book. And I can guarantee that some of these guys have got some decent results. Lindemar, for example, winner of the Grand Prix, that's $2.5 grand.
Fold.
Almac Pool, well, he's already gone, but he had some decent results too. And G done it. Third in a prime time for almost $3 grand. Storm End is looking like he needs a 4 badly. He doesn't get it, and that is a serious cooler. And unfortunate, he goes
Especially
out.
with these stack sizes.
Yeah. I mean, he goes out for $159. Everyone wants to win the 1300 up top.
Fold.
Chippy passes the 8-9. Tav, we haven't seen much of him yet. He's got the Queen 7, and
I'm shoving here.
yeah, I think we could probably just record one sentence of you saying I'm shoving here, and then replay that, and you don't even need to be here today. Is that right?
Cool. Works for me. This is an easy shove with the ace king.
Okay. So the Queen 10 looks like a genius for
Yeah, I
telling
mean,
that.
they're soul reading the hands behind them today, but they're still missing out on chances to get the double up.
Yeah.
Fold.
Basically, what we're talking about here is the range of hands you should be shoving from almost any position here. And given that we're now 7-handed,
Yeah, exactly.
is much wider than these guys think.
Yeah.
New hand.
And so the blinds are coming round too quickly for you to be able to wait for a strong hand, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, you can see it's costing over 35k every 7 hands, and that's half.
That's half of a lot of these guys'
That's
stacks
half
now.
of the short stack stack.
Yep.
Tav here has got about double that, see?
And the flip side is you can increase your stack size by 50% by getting it in with almost any 2 cards from late position, especially if your opponents are playing quite tight.
Yep. See, they've made a good shove here with the a6, but I actually prefer shoving with hands like Queen 10 and Queen Jack,
Yeah.
just because they're going to flop better a lot of the time. You're not going to be dominated as much of the time. But
And-
they're getting the idea.
Yeah, I mean, really, it doesn't matter if the tighter your opponents are playing, the looser you can play,
Yeah.
basically. Well, let's see. Someone, if it's not the chip leader...
Oh, here we go, Tav. I think he's shoving here with the 5 bigs.
No, he's going to be min-raise. Let's find out.
Just shove. Don't take too long. Don't think about it too long. There you go. Oh, here we go. He's got some action.
Oh, well, there we go. It's unlucky for Coldfish.
Oh, yeah.
This is for 2/3 of his chips. He's going to be crippled unless he spikes a 10 here.
He can't do nothing here, though.
Yeah, he's thinking a bit, but there is
Fold.
0 decision-making.
Fold.
There you go.
Unlucky. We've had a couple of coolers so far.
Let's have the turn card.
Run around a board straight would be nice. It's not going to
No,
happen.
no.
Is the river.
No 10 either, and that's a double up for Tav. But still, look, he's only got, 12 big blinds.
And
The
he's
person
second.
in second place has only 12 big
He's
blinds.
at home having a go at me. See, I shouldn't have shoved that Queen 10.
Yeah, now I'm in second place.
I fold.
Right. So everyone's. So the later it gets, we should be shoving from here on in.
Yeah, this is a shove with two bigs.
There we go, and he does it. And Lindemar calls.
I'd like to have seen
Decides
Lindemar stack,
Right.
but I don't mind playing the hand, but maybe re-ISOing just to shove it in.
Although, in one respect, at this table, you seem to be less likely to be either punished for that by people behind you than you might ordinarily.
This is a weird spot for Tav to flat call behind.
Yeah, he decides there's like 6-1 value in making the call.
I mean, although he's getting ridiculously good odds, his stack size, his hand, and his position are all really bad.
And his chips are better used with him getting it in another hand, right?
In situations like this, where you're second in chips, but you've only got 12 bigs, chips are so important.
Right.
They're ridiculously important. You should be like, look, he's dropped from second down to fifth.
from just by calling
a hand from the big blind, yeah.
Indeed.
A hand that's never going to flop well unless you hit like 4-4.
We just lost someone there. That was Coldfish. $212 for 7th place. How are the Aussies doing? Well, Coldfish was the first of 2. Potluck
I'm
is
glad
the
he
only
shoved.
one left. Here we go.
I'm glad he shoved.
I think we should be cheering for the home team here, surely. 1 man left against 5 others.
I fold.
And he's up against 1, 2, 3 Dutchmen and 2 Brits.
Fold.
Gets it through. Someone needs to take this by the scruff of the neck. But the question is, if you're the chip leader with 20 to 25 bigs, are you against these shorties who are now getting... I know they're not playing totally wide and aggressive, but, you know, are you supposed to just sit back a little bit? Because, you know, what, you can lose a few chips by... You don't want to just double up this guy and then double up that guy and suddenly be back in the pack.
I wouldn't start 3-bet shoving on people because just the way to get games going, no one's opening light.
Yeah.
But if it's folding around to me, I'm probably open shipping in every hand.
Okay.
Like there's a wide range that I'm shipping in from like the button.
And if you win,
2 short
you win 2 of them in a row, that's 80 grand. That's how you can afford to actually double someone up who's 80 grand.
Exactly.
It's a free roll.
There you go.
See, sitting next to you, I'm like picking up the odd piece of information, mate. I should be paying for this.
You can pay if you want,
Mate, I'm only nice to you on air, as you well know.
Unfortunately.
Right. Here we go. Any pair good right now. Any pair, any ace, any king. In fact, any 2. This is the business end, and that's the morphine drip for G Dunnett, who's had somewhat of a roller coaster. 3 big blinds left, and, well...
Barely enough to see around.
Yes, indeed. He disappears from the the chip counts, but I'm reliably informed that he's still in. Hooray! There he is. We'll fix that bug at some point. Okay. Here he goes. Easily good enough for 3 bigs. He likes to dwell, but he gets it in.
Is he going to find a customer?
Well,
yes, he is.
Yeah, unfortunately, he does find a customer.
Chip leader with queens.
And weep.
Yeah, nice life for Armaito, who's not done much.
Got 7s now. Oh, some chop outs.
Yeah.
Not a jack, though.
And here's the river.
They don't materialise. And that's it. We're down to 5. Well, G done it, $264. It's not a lifetime best for him. Still that prime time final table. Oh, and he's also won the Aussie Open, should I say. That's a grand as well.
Fold.
Armaito, our chip leader, by the way. Welbeck's home game. He won that on the 20th of January. If we are looking into the future with our crystal
It's quite an
ball.
important coin flip here. 400k pot, chip leader with ace queen.
Flop.
He's going to need to find a 9 or a king. Wow.
Ooh.
Needs to fade the board pairing.
Here's the river.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the
And
story...
now he's huge.
Well, the story doesn't matter. I mean, given it's a race the whole way
it
down.
folded to the chip
but-
leader on the button with ace queen.
Yeah.
It was never going to play anything differently.
That's huge now. I mean, he's had pretty much second the chips of anyone else, and he second twice the chips of anyone else.
And he does now 4-handed.
Yeah. But he's still not actually got out of line
no.
not once. But I suppose if it's just coming to you.
Yeah, I mean, Queen 7 there, that's a pass for me, even
Okay.
though I was talking about before shipping a lot of hands. That's one I probably wouldn't.
Potluck, actually, the person who stood out for me is the person who's been able to pull the trigger for the whole stack anytime he's had that opportunity. So maybe
he's had
we'll
some small pairs and hasn't been afraid to put the lot in, which he should be.
Yep.
So yeah, can't fault him as yet.
5 remaining, 317 for the next out. Then it's 400, 500, 800. All the big money in the top 2 here.
This is a shove.
Potluck,
There you go.
Insta. I like this guy.
Fold.
He's going to do it.
I fold.
Gonna get it through.
Gets it through. And what's that? From 193, he wins
Over
best part of 50K.
yeah. Nice little chip up.
25% of your stack every
it's a
time.
nice little chip up.
You'd love this spot. So you don't even have to be the chip leader here. I mean,
No.
as long as you've got enough. And, you know, he's 3rd in chips, and he can just keep getting that stack in and hopefully not be unlucky and run into someone.
Yeah, I mean, it's still gonna they're still gonna have to find some sort of hand to call him, the 2 above him, just because
Right.
it's a big portion of their chips.
Yeah.
It's either over half or at least a third, which isn't something you just want to give away. So you're not gonna be calling 2 like.
Tav, well, he's had
I fold.
a couple of hands during this final table, but not been massively active. Potluck, well, the problem is, the thing is, people think you're active, but the
Okay,
fact is they've
let's
still got to
all in.
pick up a hand.
Yep.
Ooh, now this is a tricky one. This is for more than half your chips, and you've just seen an opponent do this 2 or 3 times in the last few minutes. What are you thinking?
I mean, it's hard. I wouldn't say you're that far ahead of his range.
But is it necessary to call it?
I wouldn't call there, just because there's a shorter stack. You're not
I
desperate need, and I don't think he's shoving that wide.
Which just
I don't
shows
think
the
he's-
strength of being able to shove that
Yeah.
button.
Yeah.
Because you're getting King 10 suited to pass.
Yeah, I don't think he's shoving that wide. I
Right.
don't think he's shoving like any 2 on the button there.
Okay. But you
I mean,
could do.
if
it
he
just-
if we were free-handed now and the chips were as they are 400, 290, then I'm reshoving King 10.
Right.
Because I believe he's shoving it literally any 2 on the button there.
But what about King Queen of Diamonds? You see it's
yeah,
such a thin
it's
line
very close.
here.
Yeah, King 10 of diamonds was really, really close. Especially with 1 player behind, I think it's a pass, definitely,
Fold.
the King 10.
It's folded round to the chip
Raise.
leader. Very quick and quite
And
sizable raise, and I guess he was committing himself.
Yeah, he's going to have to call now.
Okay.
Call.
There we go. The 5-9 looks ugly, but I guess, you know, you have
He's
to
going
put
to love
pressure.
life now.
He does indeed love
Oh,
life. Not anymore.
Not anymore. Needs to find a 9 only.
Oh!
Oh, wow. That is pretty sick.
Oh, that is quite sick.
5's no good. He finds the 2-outer.
Yeah, well, what was he? A 64 dog pre-flop with the 5-9,
Wow.
and it came good in some very odd style.
Yeah, it was pretty ill.
There we go. Tav 77 can feel on the one hand a little aggrieved, but on the other, you've got to take things into your own hands in a tournament like this. Unlucky, sir. 4th place for just shy of $400. $8 rebuy. It's now 500 odd for the next
all in.
person out. This is not going to be it though. Chippy is Dutch on Dutch. Chippy makes it 75 and gets shoved on. We'd like to see people shove him with certainly less than a pair of 8s.
Yeah, I would have liked the Queen 3 to open for a little bit less. He's just wasting chips for no reason.
Yeah,
I mean, you can get the same
nowadays,
sort of information. Like the blinds are 12 and a half, 25k. You can make it 50k and you save yourself 25k.
Yep.
Which is, even though it's only 1 big blind, it's a lot.
It's so sick
stack
how
sizes.
when I started playing poker, anyone who min-raised was considered to be a massive fish. And now, 10 years later, anyone who doesn't min-raise is considered to be a massive fish.
When I think about when I first started playing live poker, the things I used to do were hilarious.
Right.
If I found like
No, but they might have been appropriate to that time.
nah,
They were just
weren't.
awful.
I'd like find ace jack and have like 100 bigs. I'd be like, I'm all in.
Yeah, well, that
I've
is
got ace and a
definite-
jack.
That is
It's a good
retarded.
hand, no?
Here we go. 4x, which seems
Wow.
a little overkill here. Kind of like removes the possibility of getting shoved on by someone who doesn't have it. Tough spot for the King
Okay,
Queen of
let's
clubs who
all in.
decides to go for it. Have they been sucked in, or is this just a? Does this qualify as a cooler?
Let's see the flop.
I wouldn't call it a cooler just because, he's calling. When the King's open for 100k, no matter what hand he's got, you know he's going to be calling a shove here.
Well,
Because
he's
you're
been
shoving
active.
for double.
Potluck. You don't.
I
you're
think
not
I would
sure.
have. I think I would have passed the Queen Jack just because I know I'm getting a call, so he has
Right.
to have something. I know
You're behind to King 4.
Exactly. I'm behind to King High. I'm behind to a pair of deuces.
Right.
Like
Good luck.
I'd rather be the one just shoving in 10 bigs with 2 random cards,
Yeah.
then 3 betting all in with a hand that I know is probably behind, and I'm getting called.
The moral of the story is we don't like showdowns. If you can win without showdown, well, except for the very final hand, of course.
I mean, Queen Jack of clubs is a hand that flops ridiculously well.
Right.
But it's going to be behind nearly all the time now.
Okay, well, congratulations to Potluck. 3rd place, $529. I thought you did really well. That final one, it doesn't surprise me. He was pretty trigger happy, and that can often win you a tournament.
Yeah, for sure.
Never mind. We are heads up. It's 2 Dutchmen.
Dutch on Dutch action.
Yeah, one of them has absolutely nothing, and that's the chip leader. But he can win this, for sure. It's a pot bet, and...
I fold.
Okay. He who dares, I guess. And that's, for all intents and purposes, dead even here. One man from Amsterdam, another from Hengelo. And something like 50 final tables between them and 10 wins. And now Lindemars, as we said, has won a Grand Prix, so this won't be his best. Well, no messing around.
I'm happy with the ace-9 shove. I would have preferred the Queen 10 to make it smaller because it looks like he's going to pass now, which he should be.
Right.
Just, again, the same reasons as before. You don't need to waste that extra big blind.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to be passing to a shove, which he obviously was going to pass to a shove, why not make it a bit smaller? You're going to get the same info.
Do some people think that the smaller they make it, the more likely it is that their opponent's going to peel one off? And
I'm happy for them to peel one off. Your heads up in position with the betting lead. I mean, 9 times out of 10, they're going to miss the flop and you're going to win the pot.
Okay.
So if they want to peel, let them.
Yeah.
Especially when I've got a hand like Queen 10 that can play well after the flop. I mean, it's not like deuce 9 off.
Well, it's a 2-1 chip lead here. Let's see if it translates into the win. He's been the chip leader since the very start of this final table. It's been an interesting one, certainly.
I call.
Good to make our way around all of these strange little ones. Come on, speak to me. You got that look on your face.
I don't like defending off 20 bigs, heads up with 5-8 suited.
Get it in or
get it in or fold.
Right.
I mean, we've been talking about the same things over again. You're wasting chips, really.
Yeah.
Because
you're going to miss most of the
time. You're going
to
miss the flop, and then you're going to be passing. But now he's going to probably ship it in.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, he's not going to peel top pair of the 8-5.
Right.
Oh,
wow.
Wow.
That seems a bit suicidal with the 7-8.
He's got a few outs.
And here's the river.
And,
not one of them.
well, that is the chip lead flip-flop.
Yep.
Complete flip-flop.
Yep, nearly 3-1.
Our chip leader the whole way goes a little bit berserk post-flop. I mean, you got 0 fold equity.
0 fold equity, and you got 8 high. I mean, you got 2 overs and a gut shot.
Right.
Which...
On another day, you might think in another situation, hooray, I've got 2 overs and a gut shot. It's good. It's semi-bluff time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you've got enough fold equity, then yeah, it's a good shove maybe. But when your opponent's always going to be calling, it's a bit weird.
Oh, that was a strange old hand.
Yeah.
Just from start to finish. Maybe these guys just flipping up and having a good time.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Might have been a long night.
Yeah, maybe. Well, this has been going on for 4 hours and 50 minutes now, which is not like the longest marathon you'll ever have online. There was a limp on the button with the King 5, and then the jam from the Ace 10. Again, limping the button. Almost never to be done.
I actually don't mind it so bad here.
Right.
Just because the opponent's got like 15 bigs. If you're going to be raised folding, you're going to be gifting him quite a few chips.
Right.
I mean,
awkward stack
a suited king's likely to be the best hand, so I might even raise cool. But limping's not so bad just because you're trying to peel a flop in position.
Okay. It's the lower risk version of not giving up your hand.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's terrible.
Okay. Here we go. 208k in the middle. This could be it. It doesn't look like it, though, but then you can never tell with these two. King high for Armaita, who's now the short stack, although not massively by much. Lindemar waves the white flag, we would imagine. Well, he's got a gut shot.
And 2 overs if there's no ace out there.
Yeah.
If he's not up against ace.
Oh, he calls.
That's an interesting card.
That's
brings the
that's
straight
some
flush
weird call. Unless you're going to be doing some funky stop go, I think.
I mean, I'd like to see how much Armarita has left.
He did. That is outrageous.
I'd be interested to know if he's doing it just solely because of the spade, though, and if it was a brick, he would have maybe check folded.
Right, so he was looking for a jack, a 9,
Well
a
played.
10, or a spade.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what maybe was his plan.
I might be
We might both be completely wrong.
Yeah, I
but
might be being uncharitable, but I'm not convinced. He shows as well, which I'm not sure there's any need to do that right at the end of a tournament where the most money is being distributed right now, and you need your opponent to be like in as much confusion as possible.
I mean, he might
Although
be
that might confuse him.
Yeah, it might just confuse him and tilt him a bit right at the end. So
This has definitely been an
here's
entertaining.
a shove.
Oh right.
Oh,
well,
is he trapping?
yeah.
Linda Martian now stick it all in the
There he
middle.
is.
Yeah.
Or at least, yeah, that. And
Okay.
it gets there eventually.
Eventually, we get to what
Yeah.
should have happened straight
And
away.
Borrowing some deuces or
Eyes down, here
hearts.
comes the flop.
Oh, he's drawing semi-dead.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
This is the river.
That would be the nuts.
And we have a winner in the Aussie Open Rebuy. It's Lindemar.
yeah.
Congratulations to him. Two Dutchmen filling the first and second spot, $1,322 for the winner. Kind of an interesting final table. Some comments from you, please, Mr. Team Pro.
There was a few spots I'd like to have seen some shoving rather than the folding or calling. And apart from that, the only other thing that stuck out in my mind was bet sizing maybe, especially heads up. I mean, when you're heads up and you're playing about 20 big blinds effective, there's no need to free exit. You can get the same exact information from 2x in it, and then you're just saving yourself chips.
Yep. And also just understanding the kind of table dynamic, the general tightness or looseness of your opponents. I think probably pretty early on in that final table, it was clear that no one was a maniac. And so perhaps there was an opening for someone to be that maniac.
Yeah, I mean, as we saw, like literally second in chips was less than 20 bigs. So there was so much room to chip up, so much dead money in the pot.
You would have smashed that place up, right?
I'd have probably got
Out in
busted
level.
eighth, yeah, or something.
Or out in level 1.
Oh, yeah, there you go. No, I would have rebought.
Okay, 100 times. All right, folks, that's all from me and Scott. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.